Welcome back. If you haven't seen part one of this video, then here's a link to that right here. Go back and watch that. And if you've already watched it, welcome back. Let's jump back in. So let's talk about some common features, both for the users and for the administrators and for the company. Now, for the users, there's usually some sort of day-to-day recognition, something that helps sending an e-card or sending a note or doing social recognition. Now, I will be honest, I'm not a huge fan of e-cards. And the social recognition thing, honestly, when I first saw it, I thought it was kind of silly because I want managers to go out and have those conversations that make the biggest difference. However, when somebody gets recognized, and say your organization is global and somebody's working in California, they recognize an employee on your software, well, other employees from all over the organization can see that as well, and they can add to it and share what they value about that person and amplify the recognition that's happening. So that should make it easier, and then you can also see the difference that people are making, who's recognizing who, and all the rest. The other thing for the user is the ability to award points. And so many softwares have the ability for the leader or even peers to award points. Say, hey, so-and-so did this, I'm gonna give them 25 points. And then those points can be used to be able to either get something from an online store, or they can add it together and then over time can buy something or an experience that they want. And that should make them being able to do that easier. Now let's talk about features for the administrator, which may be you or somebody else within your organization. One of the main one is simple reporting, is that you should be able to have a dashboard where you're going to get access to who's using what, who is sending recognition. You should be able to get data that says, hey, you know what? We had 90,000 people recognize each other this year. Actually, we realized that 20 new managers started recognizing their employees through the software, and we can see it. And then the great thing, if it's available, is you can see what people are recognizing for, and should give you the ability to be able to customize the e-cards that people are sending out. Also be able to put in things that allow you to link what people are recognizing for to one of your core values or business results. So for example, one of our core values is innovation, and somebody on my team just came up with a new idea or pivoted really quickly when we had a problem. And you can say, hey, I want to recognize Maria on my team for the quick pivot the other day when the software broke down. That's a perfect example of innovating and finding creative solutions, which is one of our core values. And should make being able to customize that and link what people are using on the platform to your business goals and results. Now, the next one, which is probably one of the most important ones, is cost tracking. You know how much money is being put in the system, and you can see where it's being used. You can budget for this to make sure that the budgets you're giving are having the difference you want to make, and makes the reporting and the analyzing those budgets much easier. Most softwares have some sort of platform integration. Most softwares have the ability to integrate into your existing platforms. So one thing you want to get clear on is, what are the platforms that our leaders and individual contributors use the most? Where are they doing their work? Where are they spending their time? Are they inside your CRM? Are they inside Salesforce? Are they inside HubSpot? Where are they? Are they inside Teams? And make sure that that software easily integrates into the systems you have. Because what we want to do is we want to remove friction for people to take the actions that actually have the impact on increasing the engagement. Most softwares or programs have a onboarding process, and you really want to look into this. You want to make sure that these programs don't just, you buy the software and then you've got to input everybody, but they help get you up and running and help make sure that you're successful. And you have some sort of partner that supports you to be able to make sure that this investment that you're making actually has the biggest difference that you need it to make. So make sure you check in. What is your onboarding process? How do you get people into the system? Do you do that? Now, if I have 10 new employees join, what does it look like for me to be able to do that? And you want to make sure that that onboarding process of new people is easy and seamless. And lastly, of course, usage metrics, which we already talked about a little bit there, but you should know who's using the platform, who's not using the platform, which departments and where, and be able to see that, and to be able to see if you can tie those usage metrics back to some of those things like your engagement and retention scores and some of the core goals you have from your role. Now let's talk about how employee recognition softwares are priced. Now there's a couple different models and there's a couple different elements of pricing. There's the pricing for the use of the software, and sometimes people have a subscription model where you pay per employee per month, or there's a flat fee that you pay to be able to use that software per year. So you want to look at that because there's the cost just to be able to use the software. And many times there is an onboarding fee, like you pay a certain amount to be able to onboard your whole company, get you set up, and all the consulting around getting that up and going. Then there's the cost of the actual rewards and awards that we're going to have within our system. And this is something that you're going to have to budget for as a leader. Maybe we want each manager to have access to $100 or 100 points per employee on their team, or there's a certain things that we're going to be able to administer. Now, how does this work cost-wise? Many organizations or many software platforms kind of tend to charge in two different areas. They charge on issuance, which means that, let's say I give $100,000 into the system for our managers, and you get charged when you make the request for $100,000 in points. And then there's other companies that charge on reimbursement. And so this is, like, let's say I receive a gift card for $100 or an Apple gift card or an Amazon gift card. I make that payment when that employee actually collects that $100 Amazon gift card, and that's when I pay. So in the end, you want to probably be able to ask the question, do I pay on issuance or do I pay when somebody reimburses or collects the actual gift card? Now, some companies combine these costs, but it's important to understand this. As you start meeting with folks and having those conversations, you're informed enough to be able to understand how do they work and what you should be budgeting and what's the best budget to be able to have going into it so you're prepared going into that conversation. So how do we determine whether it's time to go for employee recognition software right now? Well, one of the first ones we want to check is, what are people using and doing already? Are managers regularly recognizing their people? Are they handing out gift cards? Are they giving out rewards? Are they asking to be able to do that? Because here's the thing, if people aren't doing it now, where you probably want to start is with the behavior change. You want to work on the behavior change and then give them the tool to be able to make acting on that behavior easier. And if they are doing it, hey, what would be the easiest way to be able to support you? So go out and check in with those leaders. And if people are doing it on a regular basis and you think this is going to make it easier for them to do it, great. But if not, it may not be time to go and explore that. And you may want to start on the behavior or the training side of things. And if you do want to work on the behavior change side of it, then reach out to me at beyondthankyou.com. I spent the last 15 years helping leaders have the day-to-day conversations that make a difference. Now, the next is, what are your employees or managers asking for? Are they asking for more ways to reward people? And if they are, ask them, why are they looking for that right now? And if people are saying, hey, you know what, the current system is just too complicated, which, by the way, oftentimes it is. Many people want to go and recognize their employee. Instead, they're like, okay, I want to go recognize them. Hold on one second. They've got to walk 10 miles over. They got to fill in the software. They need to figure out how to do it, how to write it, and how to be able to do it, and how many points can you do it. And it's so complicated, and that overcomplicating the system, it actually keeps people from taking the action. And if the software is going to make that process easier, and so make sure when you're reviewing them, you're checking that. Say, walk me through the process. I want to recognize Mike on my team. How would I do that? What would that look like? And if you see it would make it faster and easier, great, do that. And here's a great tip. Bring one of your great managers into the conversation with you and have them look at it and try it out and say, hey, this looks awesome. If they do, move that company up the list as a good software to explore. And lastly, does the software support you in moving forward your recognition strategy? And if you don't have a recognition strategy, that's maybe where you want to start. And start with the messaging over here first, because we really want to nudge the behaviors first and the day-to-day actions, and then show people all the tools and resources. And if that software is going to support you to be able to make doing that easier, then maybe it's time to explore it. And if you realize, hey, you know what, we are just managing way too many things, which conversation I've had with a couple people recently is like, you know what, we've been doing it all on our own and it's a lot to manage and we just really need something to be able to do the administration side of it. And if it's easier to be able to do that, then guess what? It's time to move forward toward exploring softwares. Hopefully at this point, you're a little more informed of what's the difference between employee recognition programs, and employee recognition software. You understand how they work, some of the core features there, and you can be a little more informed as you start to explore this. My first recommendation to you is go back, get really clear on what we're doing already, what's working and what's not working, and understand what are the features that I really want most and what's the kind of budget that I'm ready to invest right now, and then go out and start to explore some of the platforms and just have some initial conversations, but go in informed to those conversations. And if you want to work on the behavior change side of things and make sure that your managers are doing this without the software first, then reach out to me at beyondthankyou.com.